Hey guys, and welcome back to another Yaa Yaa video. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So as you guys can see from the title, I am doing a crisscross braiding style. So first things first, you're going to want to grab your braiding hair. I'm using the 6 times value pack Spectra braiding hair in the color 1B that's already pre-stretched. It's so much easier to get pre-stretched, especially if you're a beginner. Next, you want to grab your rat tail comb. I like the metal one because it's nice and sharp. And then you're going to want to grab your rubber bands and then a hair wax of your choice. So to begin, I like to get my rat tail comb and just part my hair in a sort of semicircle. This part is quite important because the front is the bit that everyone sees. So you're going to want to make sure that it's nice and crisp and defined. Feel free to go in a few times just to make sure that it is nice and crisp as I mentioned. And you can also use the hair wax along the line of your hair to get a more precise line. So once I've done that section, I like to pin my hair at the back and check to see what it looks like. So you kind of want it again to have another semicircle. It needs to look like that so that you know that you have enough space on either side of your head. And I like to use a mini mirror just so I can see at the back of what my hair looks like. And I have a big mirror at the front that I am looking at. So you want to then get your hair and part it, just like a normal line that you would do to start your braid, and again check to see if it's nice and crisp and feel free to adjust it if it's not. So I begin by creating my first box, I guess, with the box braid. You're going to want to make sure that you pop the rest of your hair away and then you grab some wax to allow it to be a bit more uniform. This makes it easier to grip as well, especially if you're a beginner. I then like to go and prep my braiding hair that I'm going to use all around. So as this is a knotless style, I like to start by plaiting or braiding my hair, my own hair to begin with. You want to do a few rows of that before you then begin to feed in the braiding hair. So then I grab the braiding hair and I feed that in after a few rows as I mentioned, and you're just going to want to make sure that marries in and looks as natural as possible. You don't want to add too much braiding hair at the beginning because that makes it a bit more difficult and it becomes really lumpy and bumpy at the top. So you want to add a small bit of hair and then gradually as you go down, add some more hair. But if you are new to this whole adding and feeding hair strategy for braiding, don't worry, I will take you guys through it in a few moments to just give you a bit more insight on how it's done. So after I've braided it along for a while, I kind of want my hair to be quite long. So of course I'm going to have to feed it in hair, so I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it here. So you want to grab your new braiding hair and put that in the middle. Then you want to grab one of the older pieces and flip that over to create the braid. But I know it's a bit difficult to understand, so I slowed it down even more. So you want to grab new piece 1 and one of the old middle pieces. I like to start with the middle piece and create one whole piece. You then want to get the hair that is on the right hand side and pop that over. Depending on how you braid, that basically holds it nice and secure. You then want to grab the other second piece and the left piece and join those together, and that makes a whole piece. So feel free to slow this part down, rewind and have a look at that section again if you are finding it difficult to feed in hair, and just kind of learn how to do that. It is quite simple once you get it, but at the beginning it can be quite difficult. So feel free to keep going back if you need to. So I like to do the exact same thing for the next piece. I get some wax, put it through my hair, and then I begin braiding my natural hair. So again, you want to do a few layers of your hair, just braiding your natural hair again. And then you feed in the braiding hair the same way I did in the first slide. With your first piece of new braiding hair, you want to braid down a bit more and then grab your next piece of braiding hair again and feed that in. So depending on the thickness of your hair, how you like it, you may want to decide to add more or less. To be honest, in the beginning, I do quite small sections, but you're going to see in a few moments that I scrapped that idea. I was not about to sit there for that long, and I ended up going for slightly thicker pieces and just basically doing the same concept, but just with thicker braiding pieces. Me being me and being lazy, I still left a small piece in the back, but not to worry, no one can see it anyway. You kind of just want to finish that off and carry on until you have finished that whole section. So of course, we're going to go on to the star of the show, which is the beginning, the crisscross. And what you're going to want to do is grab your hair and grab your rat tail comb and part your hair in the center. You're going to want this section to be as crisp as you can. As you can tell at the back, I didn't care as much because, you know, I couldn't see it and most people won't see it anyway, but the front bit is the most important part. So if you can, take your time to get this bit as crisp as possible and make sure the line is nice and straight. I then pop one half of my hair away and then grab my rat tail comb again and part another section. You kind of want to get this or make this about 2 finger widths apart. This is basically going to be 2 sections of the crisscross, so you're going to want that to be nice and thick but not too thick. Again, go with the wax if you need to be able to just, you know, part the hair and make it as neat as possible, and then just checking over here to see what it will look like when I split it in the middle, and I'm popping that away. And I'm basically going to want to repeat this again for the other sections on this side, parting my hair, making sure that I'm putting it away and making it as neat as possible. And then once I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and twist it. So now that I've done that to all sections, I'm going to pop the sections that I'm not using at the minute away and focus on one section at a time. So one of the 6 that I've already parted, I'm going to want to split that again into 2. As I mentioned, this whole section is going to count as one crisscross braiding pattern. So you're going to want to split that into 2 and then again split that into boxes. So for this smaller section over here, I split the boxes into 3 because it is smaller. You don't have to make it the same all the way around as long as it's even on both sides. As I mentioned, I did it in 3 parts and I just popped my hair away and made sure that it was nice and uniform. I go in with a bit of wax as well to keep the hair together, and it just makes it easier for when it's time for me to pop the hair or crisscross it over. So now I've got all 3 sections, I'm going to want to grab the section that I popped away just now and match it up again. So this is going to have to be even. They need to look as though they are one line joined. So you're going to want to have 3 on the bottom half and 3 on the top because these 2 are going to be matched and crisscrossed over each other. So these definitely have to be the exact same. So once all the boxes are done, you're going to want to grab one side, which is one of the ones that are at the front, and match that with the opposite side. You're then going to want to get an elastic band and just wrap that around and just make sure the first crisscross line is created. I then like to get the second bit at the front and twist it around and then twist it again, and then just make sure that I'm securing it with the rubber band, and just to make sure as well that it is nice and flat and uniform. I then repeat this for all the other sections, and as you can see, I've made my first crisscross section. Next, I do the same concept, the knotless. I just plait or braid my natural hair first, and then I feed in hair. So as I mentioned, this section or the hair now is slightly thicker as I've decided to thicken it up a little bit. So you're going to want to then grab a bit more hair than you may have as I showed you in the beginning, and then keep braiding. You can see here that the hair gradually gets bigger and it doesn't look too out of place. You can just see that it goes from thin to big, or as large as I kind of want it, and it looks pretty good to me. Again, I'm just showing you how I feed in or how I just braid to make it nice and uniform. You can't even tell where I popped in the new braiding hair. It needs to look as nice and as flush as possible, or as good as you can get it, and then just keep braiding down along depending on how long you want the hair to be. So for the next part, I then go in and do 4 boxes on this side, only because I have a bit more hair space to work with. I then pop the rubber band in my hair and twist it again to make sure that it's nice and flat. And then I just repeat this section along for the whole part. So now I've basically done the whole one half of my head. I'm going to show you guys how I do it again, just in more detail. So again, I take a section, split it in half. You kind of just want to make sure it's nice and neat and allow it to match and marry up with other sections that you've done as best as you can anyway. I like to then pop my hair away with a clip to make it easier so I don't gather any parts of hair that's not meant to be there. Add some wax and then rubber band my hair as needed. And then twist and add gel and pop it away. It may be easier for you to use a clip again to pop it away so it doesn't get mixed up, and then just follow through and do this for all of the sections at the front. It's literally a repetitive process. I'm going to let you guys just sort of watch what I'm doing and just so you guys can see for yourselves. Okay, so now that I've made the full section, I'm going to want to again twist my hair, match it up with a rubber band and just form the crisscross motion. Feel free to take your time at this bit because it can get a bit confusing. You just want to make sure that you are crissing and crossing the correct sections of hair. So feel free to pin hair away that you're not using at the time to make it easier for you to understand. So right afterwards, I make sure I do the knotless braids for the rest of the sections. And here we have it, guys, the crisscross braid.
So this is the final look, okay? I am, you guys can tell, loving it. I don't think you can just tell what the whole thing looks like because I've got such a large forehead space. But I promise you, it looks really, really good. And I just like how different it is. I did see this on TikTok quite a bit and I just thought, I think this should be my next hairstyle. And I am really, really loving it. I'm gonna have it in for, who knows how long I'm gonna have it for. But it's just a nice, fun style to have. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do have any other tips or any other things you'd like me to do, let me know down below in the comment section and I'm gonna try my best to get them out for you. But thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope to catch you in another one. Ciao.